Okay. In regards to the statement that was made with Whitney Houston, I respect the conspiracies. Conspiracies are the things that allow people to open their minds and look at some serious issues that can be true or false. But my issue comes along with being considered a black Jewish Hebrew. Black people are not the original Jewish Hebrews. Why? You may ask me why I say, but I tell you why. Simply because Jews are a type of people that um, they have their own life, they have their own entity, they work, they come from a whole nother uh, background. Um, First off, ancient Egyptian people, which are our ancestors, they have been grafted from those ancient Egyptian people, and with them being grafted from, they were considered to be albinos, and those albinos had been grafted and placed basically in a bucket and constantly reproduce and reproduce. Now, what I'm trying to say is that those people that have been grafted have a non-recessive gene, and that non-recessive gene basically means that they are short of some things. So, by them being short of some things, that is allowing them to be loose in a lot of areas and pretty much very radical. Now, being a Jew is one person or one group of people, one, and then being a thug is another type of definition of a group of people, which are considered thugs. Thugs has derived from people who are radical. And the word thug is not a new word. That word has been around for a very since Sanskrit time. And I'm sorry, Sanskrit time. And back in those days, it was a totally different ball game. It wasn't black against black, and it was ancient people, and then it was Caucasian people, and it was all these other groups of people that had been derived from those who has been grafted from those ancient Egyptian people. Now, by them being grafted, yes, they have a non-recessive gene, and they basically don't have it all together. So when they say that we're black Jewish people, one, your mama has not birthed you being a Jewish woman, and if she has birthed you as a Jewish woman, then yes, you are to be considered a Jewish person and a black Jewish person. But if your mama is not Jewish, then no, you are not considered Jewish. Two, Jews are another type of people. You are ancient Egyptian descendants, which means you are not Jewish people. They have their own group. They have their own world. They have their own way of living. They have their own doctrine. Three, Hebrews, that is basically a word that classifies a true thug. Thugs that have ran into some stuff that was disruptive to society back in that time frame, and truly just messed things up for the ancient Egyptian people. So when you do classify yourself as a Jewish person, make sure that your mama is Jewish, and make sure if you are classifying yourself as a Hebrew, that you're taking on that old destination from which they came from with radicalness because of their non-recessive genes, because of their loose marbles, because of their wild lifestyle, because they didn't have it all together. But remember this, we weren't the original thugs. They switched us from our original lifestyle of living, which means that we were the ones dressing in fine linen and velvet and silk. And they were the ones that were basically dressed in whatever they can find, animal clothes and animal skin and um, animal heads and on top of their heads and all this extra stuff. I can get into it a little deeper, but I do not want to take it there unless you ask me, and I have to be very careful. So classify yourself as an ancient Egyptian, and then do a little bit more homework, and then that's when we start spreading the doctrine properly, and then we can go ahead and, you know, teach our people and our children the right way. All right. With that said, knowledge is power, knowledge is key, and knowledge is to be told, not to be told. And knowledge is a hell of a death wish. So be very careful, and I'm going to have to be very careful, but I do need to inform my people because we are not the Jewish, the one.